library that we, without help of anything we use for study. The paper, for example, examines trends and issues in digital education programs. Globally, drawing examples of developmental growth of library information science known as LIS. Schools and digital education courses in North America, Britain, and Southern Asia. The slow growth of LIS, known as Library Information Science Schools and Digital Education in Nigeria, and some countries in Africa and India. The literature so far listed dedicated problems of inequality, inequality in digital education. Globally, to dearth of faculty, training facilities, no collaboration among library information science schools in developing countries, encouraging collaboration in developed countries and not many students attracted to the course recommended solution are suggested for attracting students into the program and what to do to make it competitive like other programs in the universities. Now I am giving to describing some points like first introduction. Education is an essential resource or commodity that any human being possesses. Through the different degrees and types of education is acquired through learning at both school and the environment. It can be said to be a moment by moment or everyday experience that are acquired, stored in the brain, and used or applied as the need arises. Education should be a worthwhile endeavor that prepares life for now and for the future. Education is as old as man on planet Earth. It is either formal or informal type of education. The Bible in education means the same with evaluation. God educated Adam and Eve on what shall be their food and what plants shall constitute food items for other lower creatures under Adam's care. The Aristotles built schools in educate their children to place the Samaria and other 6 locations. The Sumerians, Egyptians, Babylonians, Greek, they also contributed much in the development of education in the distant past. Today, formal education is known in almost all the countries of the world, and it is one of the rights of all persons to have it. The thrust of the paper is education for digital library and global trends and issues. Digital libraries are today's information repositories that their collections are in digital form. These are virtual libraries that involve the use of computers and are technologically driven. It is important that the trends and issues in digital education is addressed so as to hinder development in the area and especially in Africa and the other developing regions of the world. The relevant in literature so for reviewed for the purpose of informing and educating the readers of this article through limited in number but also the digital education is not yet widespread and it seems to be an area that many library information science students do not show much interest in it. Most of the library information science schools offering the course either at certificate, undergraduate and graduate level are in the United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand and a few in Asia. In Asia and Africa, the fact will remain and that is there are not many library information science schools offering digital education across the globe. There are the services of digital library compared with traditional library. It means in this point we can say that the services rendered by traditional library are those of collection, selection, acquisition, organizing, storage, dissemination, etc. of library collection or materials. Much physical space is required for the traditional library services. To offer meaningful services to its customers, much manpower is needed to run the different units of the traditional library. Its operations are manually based and a few aspects are electronic based. Digital library services are similar to those of traditional libraries. The difference is that digital collections are in digital forms, the services are technologically driven. Less space is required for the users to occupy and access its services. Digital library Digital library materials can be accessed from anywhere on the globe provided electricity and network are available. Computers are the means of deliver digital services to its users, unlike in the traditional library services, where human labor is vital in its operation. The most important change digital library bring may be in advancing information learning to the learner. It has given statement in April 1995 or more given the page 973. It may have to on promises for the now and future and also its challenge. Library information science has always been a field concerned with the education of future librarians and information professionals. With increasing amount of information available in digital format, preparing library information science students to work in digital library environment has become an important agenda within library information science schools nowadays. Digital library requires digital library as they are required to select, acquire, organize, make, assemble and preview digital collection as well as plan, demand and suggest digital services. Library history and development of digital library education. We can say that about this point that the history and development of digital library education, it has started the digital library arrived without prior announcements and librarians started working with digital library resources, creating digital services before library information services. Education started reacting to digital services by the year 2009. Only one university in the world was offering a master program in digital library in the computer science. At the National Cato University in Taiwan, computer science and library information service, library information science faculty seem to have the strongest hold on such students received attention since 1999 in Malaysia according to Prometheus in 2006. A count of his training facilities which are to indicate and trained professional competent in for market demands. Revamp facilities revisit to educate and train professional competent in a market demands. Training should focus on skills, talents, knowledge, resource fulfillment, information. The education, number one, should be professional type. Number two, that meets the development and trend in ICT. Number three, that is very useful to the society. Number four, that transform to make one to continue to stay in service. Number six, program that is competitive and lead workplace and marketplace that plays practical role in preparing human knowledge resources for the society, that educate and train students for managing information and knowledge resources sectors of economy other than the library. Library information science schools should be prepared to offer courses in areas recommended by Singh and Malhan, like digitization information. Number B, digital and virtual organization. No over admission control, seek and provide list knowledge of technology to issue non-library professionals for providing training in specialized courses. Library information science schools should be prepared to offer courses in areas as recommended like digitalization information, be digital and virtual library. Next, health informatics. Number 6, legal informatics. Number 7, knowledge engineering, and after that, decision support specialist. These are the types of areas recommended by library information science. The circular must be reviewed to remain relevant and also meet modern day market demands. The function of library information science schools should include: number 1, providing students with complete knowledge on digitalization. Number 2, making students develop skills in digitalization. Number 3, enabling students evaluate software and using internet. Number 4, enabling students acquire skills to provide library services in digital form as in the traditional libraries. Number 6, provision of competent faculty. Number 7, instructional technology support. Number 8, learning resources in the form of print, electronic, and web-based material. Number 9, continuing education programs, system of continuous evaluation, adequate financial support from the sponsoring bodies. Number 10, knowledge and skills to manage the shift in the goals of the library and the view of the changes in information, storage and delivery mechanism. Suggestion for the library information science education in India, Nigeria and the rest of the minimum infrastructure and facilities by controlling authority or proprietor accreditation of programs, goals and objectives of the programmer, faculty and students, financial, administrative and physical resources should be in place. Now over admission for easy, equality, control, seek and provide latest knowledge of technology to users. Library professionals for providing training in specialized courses. Implication and uncertainties. There are the implications and uncertainties are Singh and Mahan in scanning is summarized in this work and stating that in the years ahead, library information science schools will be competing like any business cooperation, hiring the best, attracting the best students. Library information science department at Bradford University began by enrolling leftover students into its undergraduate programs. Enrollment began appreciating when the curriculum was indeed to information resources management known as IRM. enrollment into IRM at Bangkok University. Is it increasing, and without persuading leftover candidates from highly competitive undergraduate courses? There are also some problems in digital library education. Now I am describing. There is no known collaborations by library information science schools in Nigeria. Singh and Mahan, the writer, reported same in India. No wider exposure of faculty and students due to no collaboration. Collaboration is not practiced by library information science schools within their countries and regions. In Africa and other developing nations, issues of collaboration is familiar and practiced in the USA and Europe. Digital education and any other developmental activity that will make library information science remain in the concurrent list of courses in educational institutions of developing countries in general must be encouraged. Skills must go with theory in digital education so as to make the holder of certificate in digital education marketable, competent professional. Library information science schools should make courses and resources consistent with the needs and expectations of the job market. Digitization in library services seems to have arrived and put to use before educating its advantages of digitization in library science are much, hence the need to intensify digital library education. Education is a common denominator and a sought after in all countries of the world. Educational institutions, library services have gone digital. Digital education must develop faster. Many library information science schools should introduce digital library education in their curriculum, and especially in Nigeria and other less developed countries. of the world. Internal and regional collaborations should be encouraged in the area of curriculum development, exchange of expertise and experience, assessment, accreditation matters. Research and development in Abdullahi 2006. Recommendation. There are the following are some recommendations towards developing digital library education in Nigeria. Developing education. Introduce a scholarship for students in digital library educator. Number 3, make the course or program attractive to candidates. Number 4, run accredited certificate, diploma, associate, degrees, undergraduate and graduate degrees in digital library education. In library information science schools. Number 5, library information science schools should be encouraged to collaborate with sister schools. Number 6, provision of adequate infrastructure in library information science schools. Number 7, meet all and any other requirements for running digital library education program. About digital library, next point I am describing about e-learning technology. E-learning technology is a type of technology known as electronically learning. Like we use internet, different terminology have been used for e-learning, a fact that makes it difficult to develop a generic definition. Terms that are commonly used include online learning, internet learning, distributed learning, network learning, tele-learning, virtual learning, computer assisted learning, web-based learning, and distance learning. These are the examples of e-learning technology. All of these terms imply that the learner is at a distance from the tutor or instructor, that the learner uses some form of technology to access the learning materials, that the learner uses technology to interact with the tutor or instructor and other learners. And that some form of support is provided to learners. This paper will use the term e-learning throughout. E-learning is the term used to describe not for only studying, also describe for teaching and learning different resources or experiences that are in some way delivered electronically. E-learning is meant to be more than just educational websites or computer software. It includes all aspects of electronic library. So watching an educational video using a digital camera, using a computer to edit pictures, text or sounds for a presentation or project, or using an interactive whiteboard in a lesson can all be considered implementation of e-learning. There are many definitions of learning in the literature, definitions that reflect the diversity of practice and associated technologies. Kernel defines a learning as educational material that is presented on a computer. The Australian National Training Authority proposes in 2003 that e-learning is a broader concept, that online learning encompassing a wide set of applications and processes which use all available electronic media to deliver vocational education and training more flexibly. The general intent to support a broad range of electronic media. Benefits of e-learning. About the benefits of e-learning, we have to say that increasingly organizations and adopting e-learning as the main delivery method to train employees. At the same time, educational institutions are moving towards the use of the internet for library delivery, both on campus and at a distance. However, for organizations and institutions to make this often expensive move, there must be a perception that using e-learning provides major benefits. Some of the benefits for learners and instructors are outlined below. For learner, e-learning no time zones and location and distance are not an issue. In asynchronous e-learning, students can access the online materials for different studies at any time, any place, anywhere. E-learners can use the internet to access up-to-date and relevant learning materials and can communicate with experts in the field in which they are studying. Situated learning is facilitated since learners can complete online courses while working on the job or in their own space and can contextualize the learning. For instructor, tutoring can be done at any time and from anywhere. Online material can be updated and learners are able to see the changes at once. When learners are able to access materials on the internet, it is easier for instructors to direct them to appropriate information based on their needs. If designed properly, online learning systems can be used to determine learners' needs and current level of expertise and to assign appropriate materials for learners to select from to achieve the designed learning outcomes. Important trends are characterized by the new requirements imposed on the knowledge industry in partnership with educators and librarians to provide adequate change in education methods and information infrastructure to support e-learning as a lifetime activity, learning anytime, anywhere. In this competitive era, the role of the traditional library as the primary provider by information to its community is less and less unique local collections and staff are no longer the only source of information services to students, including e-learners and support for faculty in their research and teaching. Users are beginning to perceive the library as something used at the end or at best the middle of their information search. This has important implications for education programs as well as for understanding library. Users' behavior, users want control of their own information environment. It is important to them to have some items on for convenient personal consultation. The user's impression is that the information available free on the web is the information that gets used. If students do need to ask a person for information help, they go to a friend or colleague because that person already has an understanding of that person's context for either the problem or their level of understanding. One of the natural responses to the above challenge consists of introducing the digital library to support e-learning as a learning environment and resources network designed to meet the needs of learners in both individual and collaborative settings, constructed to enable the dynamic usage of a broad array of materials for learning, primarily in digital format managed activity to promote reliable anytime, anywhere access to quality collections and services available both within and outside the network. The role of digital libraries in e-learning. After that, next point I am describing about the role of digital libraries in e-learning. The introduction of digital libraries into the education process was made easier by distance education, which has developed over the years. Over the years. basic idea is to join e-learning materials on various topics written by many educators in a digital library of courseware. With the internet and the World Wide Web, distance education programs can mount sets of materials on web servers to support online courses. After that, we have to say that digital libraries have the potential to significantly change fundamental aspects of the classroom in ways that could have an enormous impact on teaching and learning. New pedagogical methods should accompany digital library as an emerging technology for education to reach the compelling vision of education that supports who is the writer of this digital library. Some of the digital library projects in Europe that are forming the next generation of libraries. The next generation of libraries has learning new pedagogical methods should accompany digital libraries are emerging technology for education to reach the compelling vision of education. The digital library must not be seen as merely a digitized collection of information objects. Library projects in Europe that are forming the next generation of libraries. The digital library must not be seen as merely an environmental beginning to gather collections, services, and people to support the full cycle of creation, dissemination, use, and preservation of data, information, and knowledge. A number of intermediate goals have been formulated for digital library and the way in which they can support e-learning, including improve student performance, increase the quantity, quality, and comprehensiveness of internet-based educational resources. Make these resources easy to discover and retrieve for students, parents, and educators, and ensure that these resources are available over time. Lectures, lesson plans, computer programs, modeling and simulation, intelligent tutoring systems, access to remote scientific instruments, project-based learning tools, the result of educational research. Scientific research reported both formally in journals and informally in websites. Raw data for students, activities and multimedia image banks. Digital libraries should provide services for authors and instructors such as annotation, evaluation, and review of denoted materials for students and faculty. It will offer the capability to search for desired or particular information on the basis of any subject area, to have access to scientific data sets, to interact with peers, to provide archiving location, independent naming recommended systems, selective dissemination of information, copyright management, faculty, students and other clients such as independent learners will be able to participate in forums, interdisciplinary activities, lifelong learning, and the process of education will all benefit. In this way, digital library will be much more than the sum of its parts and will promote change and innovation in education. E-learners, digital libraries and information utilization. With the tremendous growth of the internet, e-learners have access to an overwhelming range of information sources available at the click of a mouse. Library resources. Librarians have traditionally selected and organized resources with great care. In bulking, digital libraries have the opportunity to provide e-learners with direction and to rescue them from information overload. A digital library can link e-learners to library catalog, licensed journal databases, electronic book collections, selected internet resources, electronic course results and tutorials and to forums for communication and interaction with others. The digital library permits e-learners to access library and network resources and services anytime and anywhere that an internet connection and computing equipment are available. A significant changer for digital library design and use in the new era will be to support the range of goals that are already alive in the classroom rather than simply modify information. How can digital library and their use open up an e-learner's inquiry rather than bring them to courses? How might they enhance e-learners' critical thinking rather than dulling it? How might they assist to teaching e-learners such process rather than my satisfying or suppressing this instruction without asking the real value of using digital libraries or any educational technology. Educators risk failing to see their transformating potentials and at lost they risk importing a country set of values. Thank you.